Shalom and welcome. Well, this is a story about Sukkot, and I think I should apologize. It's in the middle of the holiday and it's a little bit late. Had some personal issues that actually were more important than recording a story, but in any event, here's the story. It's about Reb Pinchas of Koretz. Now, Reb Pinchas was a chassid who was a very deep man. He studied Torah all the time, and he was known as this great Torah chacham, Torah scholar. And he would spend all of his time studying Torah. But as time went on, people started to come to him to ask him for blessings and to help them with spiritual matters. And as time continued to go on, more and more people started to come to him as his reputation spread. It seemed his blessings were particularly effective and his advice very good. So more and more and more people were coming to seek his blessing and his advice. Reb Pinchas became very upset about this, because this was taking time away from his studying of Torah. And finally it got to a point where Reb Pinchas prayed, "Oh God, can I have some peace from this? The people shouldn't be drawn to me so much, so I have more time to study your Torah." Now, when a tzaddik like a Reb Pinchas prays something, it usually is heard in heaven. And in point of fact, after he made this prayer, fewer people started to come to see him. And as time went on, fewer and fewer, until at last nobody was bothering him. Well, he was elated. Now, finally, he had the time back to study Torah. And his life went on in this manner until just before the holiday of Sukkot. His wife went around asking for people to help build the sukkah so that Reb Pinchas would not be disturbed from his Torah study. But since people had become so indifferent to Reb Pinchas, there was nobody available, and finally she had to go and hire a non-Jew to help her build the sukkah, which was finished just in time for the holiday. So it's the first night of Sukkot, Erev Sukkot, and Reb Pinchas and his wife are sitting in the sukkah having their evening meal, and time grows late. Reb Pinchas' wife decides it's time she needs to go to bed, and she leaves him alone in the sukkah, and he's studying Torah. Suddenly there's a knock on the sukkah. So, Reb Pinchas turns around, and there's somebody standing there. A man with a long, flowing white beard in a white robe. Reb Pinchas suddenly realizes that this is a holy being, a heavenly being. Now, you have to understand, during Sukkot, we recite what's called ushpizim. This means guests, holy guests specifically. And each night of Sukkot, a different person comes to visit, the patriarchs and other people. Now, since this was the first night of Sukkot, Reb Pinchas realized this must be Avraham Avinu, Abraham our father, since he was the one who came on the first night. So he jumped up and says, "Baruch haba, blessed are you who comes. Welcome to my sukkah, Avraham Avinu." And Abraham looks at him Says, thank you for your greeting, Reb Pinchas, but I cannot stay. I can only visit a sukkah where the joy of the holiday is being celebrated and felt. Since you have no guests, the joy here is lacking. And with that, he disappeared. Well, Reb Pinchas now realized his mistake, that he had prayed for the solitude. And he prayed again that God should bring back what had gone on before so that he would not be alone. And sure enough, time went on and he became more popular, and even more people were coming to him. And Reb Pinchas always had a blessing for those who came, and he never refused anybody ever again. What do we learn from this? It's a nice story, but what do we learn from this? And we learn from this that Sukkot, Zman Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing, is a time when we should be sharing with other people and rejoice in the holiday. We should rejoice at this time of year. We should not be alone. Thank you, and shalom.